Oh my gosh, like I'm shocked. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kiana, and we're going to be doing a little chit chat. Get ready with me just to, talk about surrendering to God and the power of it and how it's going to benefit you. Who knew that giving up things could actually benefit you and why you need to do it and how it's changed my life. So, if you want to hear about the topic of surrender and if you're curious about learning more about that topic, then make sure that you guys keep on watching. All right, so we get to sit and talk. I'm excited because I have some new products. I'm not going to try to tell you guys every product I'm using. I'm just going to probably put them up on the screen so you know what I'm using. And I'm excited to, do a little chit chat, get ready with me. I have my breakfast here. I got coffee. And I got a little pastry. Y'all, this place is so good. So I may be eating off camera. I don't know yet. But we're going to be talking about surrendering to God and the power of it. It's going to be a good talk. So let's go ahead and get started. So, y'all, there's so many different variations of surrender. And I have my mirror to the side, so I will be looking over so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, there's so many different variations to surrender, and like the deeper you really grow in your relationship with Christ, like you will realize it, and you'll also realize like how powerful surrender really is. So I think like the first more obvious piece of surrender for me was really giving my life to Christ. And I think that's hard in general just because like we're coming from a place where we kind of do what we want. And y'all, my neighbor, I don't know what they're doing, but they must be fixing something, which is why I didn't let my dog out because he was trying to go outside. Sorry, I get distracted so easily, so I just have to tell y'all what this sound is. I don't know what they're doing. But if I was to let my dog outside, he was gonna be barking. So yeah. But anyways, giving my life to Christ was really kind of like one of those things I struggled with for a while, and I thought that I was doing right because I really didn't understand like the depths of what it was. And I think that's something that I want to talk about because when you're first coming to Christ, kind of you don't understand the depth of really living a Christ-centered life is. And as people, I think that's something that's important to know, that things that I was doing wasn't okay still. Like I may not have cursed, for example, but I was still going out into the club scenes, and I may not have been drinking all the time, but I did drink. And I'm just saying things that were personal for me. Like it's for you to decide and decipher what Christ wants you to, surrender to him when it comes to cultivating the healthiest relationship. And I really think that, in learning to let certain things go, like that was God setting boundaries for my life in order to protect me, because I wasn't always making the best decisions, even when I came to Christ and I was doing like certain things that I just mentioned. Like it really just wasn't giving what it's supposed to give, and like I really had to give up some of those things, and I had to trust that God knew better. And I would have to trust that the people that understood as far as friends went, and the people that didn't. And gratefully for me, I have a very understanding friend group that supported me in certain ways in my walk and understood that I was changing regardless. And they still appreciated our friendship, which I'm grateful for. Y'all, I forgot, I usually start with my eyes. When I get to talking and doing makeup, it's like my mind just goes out the window. I'm gonna stick to a simple look for the sake of me staying focused. That's usually my go-to with chit chat, get ready with me, because I'm just one of those people that I will lose my focus quickly. Exhibit A. I'm gonna keep the bronzer on because this is usually how I start my base, so it's fine. It's all good. But yeah, so giving my life to God was easy in some ways, but difficult in some ways. And it was like a really big thing for me. And I think that's the part of my life that people really saw me start to really change in life. Like, I wasn't the same old hot-headed girl that I used to be, and thank the Lord, right? And I wasn't, you know, doing certain things, and they're just like, you know, you don't have to do this, do that. Like, people would give you excuses to stop doing certain things, but it's like, for me, I wanted to really like get my shot at it. And I remember my leaders in church saying something to me. They were like, Kiona, like, you're on this seesaw, and the moment you surrender and like pick a side, like, things will start to really change in your life. And I used to be like, in my mind, like, what do you mean? Like, I am surrendered. Like, this is what I'm talking about. There's just levels to it. Like, you think you're doing the right thing, but you really, as you mature and grow and really seek God, you really will start to convict you and really like check your heart. And that's exactly what he started doing for me. So thank the Lord for it. But after really growing and maturing, like, I realized that my obedience, which I feel like obedience and surrender kind of go hand in hand, because like, when you're giving God your yes, you're surrendering your no. And sometimes that's hard. That's not as easy as one may think. And so like, the more that I continue to give up things so that I can really cultivate my relationship with God, and the more he continued to give me convictions, it was like the more I saw him revealing things to me about what he's called me to and things of that sort. Because I did a video where God, you know, showed me my calling, and I was in a place where I was really like in classes, or what are the words, like conferences, things of that sort, like that my church would have, something around that. I don't know the exact name. But when I was really like involving myself in the church and really like being curious, like genuinely being curious, that's when God was like, all right, I can tell you more. So I thought that was pretty dope. And like, the more, again, that I continue to do that, he continued to reveal more. And so, you know, one thing I was telling one of the girls that goes to my church, because if you don't know, I'm a leader in my church. I'm on the prayer team. I'm not the leader of prayer team, but I am on the prayer team. And so like, you know, I have a responsibility, and, you know, I have to uphold a certain standard now that I'm serving in church. But I'm so grateful for that opportunity, and I would not trade it for the world. But one thing I was telling one of the girls that attends our church, I was like, obedience is so important, because when we are saying, again, yes to God, we're showing him that we trust him. We're showing him that we have faith in him. We're showing him that we value what he has to say, and we're trusting his leadership in our life. And it will really lead us down to really great things happening in our life and unfolding in our life, even if we don't understand. And I think that's something to notate. When you're surrendering to God, sometimes you're not going to understand what it is that or why it is he's telling you to give up something, you know? I'm going to be opening this for the first time. I ran out of my other foundation, so this was just the perfect timing drop. And I love Makeup Forever. This is in the shade 2Y32, and I'm only telling y'all because somebody matched my last shade, and I did not like that match. I feel like this is, watch, you're going to see, this is such a better match. Another thing I had to do was surrender my desires in ways when it came to like dating preferences and just men and what I wanted to do with my channel, for example. Like, even when I started this YouTube channel, like, my intention wasn't to glorify God. Like, I wasn't there in my relationship or in my walk with Christ. I was just someone that attended church, and I was curious at the time. And even in some of those instances, as I was growing my relationship with God, like, I wasn't always, even in church, like, just being real, like that's not why I started this channel. So I had to surrender this channel to him and let him do what he wants to do with this channel. And it's been the best thing ever because I really feel like I have the opportunity to help people learn more and just have deeper understanding of God's heart. And it's not always through my experiences, but sometimes just things that he's telling me to share. Like obviously I've been on this path of surrender for a while, and this is not something that's super new for me, but it's something, for example, that he's put on my heart to share about, and I'm grateful to do so because I think having conversations like this really helps us, and I think helping each other, because I get helped by other people posting about God and things of that sort. Like I get helped in hearing about their experiences and their revelations and things of that sort. Like this channel, being surrendered to God, was like the best thing ever. And honestly, I'm not that interesting. Maybe a little bit, but you know, I feel like God is just a lot more interesting. You feel me? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Also a newbie, I got the Fenty concealer. Let me open this. All right, so I got this as a brightening concealer. So this is the shade, I literally have the thing, 230W. But I'm gonna go in with this one first. Surrendering my desires when it came to relationships was a big thing because y'all, I wanted what I wanted. And like, even like I said, as I was already in a committed relationship with God, as I would probably call it. Sorry, my dog is over here. Boots, moo. But I wanted what I wanted, and for the life of me, I was like, well, God, is this my husband? Like, he has to be because X, Y, and Z. I would just make up like reasons as to why to justify somebody being for me. Like, it was just a hot mess, child, like seriously. But I had to surrender my desires, and for the best. Like, thank you, Lord, that I did that, because girl, I was just a hot mess. Like, I don't choose good men, and like really giving God that area of my life and trusting him to put someone in front of me was like the best thing ever. And I'm still single, but you know, I see the fruit of doing so. And one thing I'll say is like, it really allowed me to stop operating in a realm of control, which is something like I used to want to have over that area of my life. And you may not struggle with control over relationships per se, but there may be areas of your life where you got to surrender and give it to God and let him be in control. Because y'all, God really knows best. I know that we don't want to necessarily believe that, but he does. And maybe it's not that we don't want to believe it. Maybe it's just really hard for us to trust that he knows best, to believe that he knows best, and to really like give something to him. And it was a hard journey. Like, everything I'm talking about was not easy. It wasn't like I realized this and then boom. It was like I just did it. It was like, no, I really wrestled with God. Like Jacob wrestling with God in the Bible. Like, I really wrestled with God on certain things, and I'm not afraid to say that. Side note really quickly, one thing that I really like about this concealer, because I am doing makeup, I gotta like, and I'm trying new makeup, this doesn't change, which I noticed with some other concealers. Like, they kind of oxidize and change colors and like really becomes yellow, but this really gives me that brightening look that I want. So just had to notate that. I'm really grateful to like feel like the passenger princess now in my life. Like, I really feel like I've really given God full reign, and like I'm in this place now where I've literally surrendered even my thoughts about like the timing of things happening in my life. But this is why I say it's levels to surrender, because timing is one dimension, giving your life to Christ is one dimension, or one level. Your desires is another thing. control is another thing. Like, I want y'all to make note of these things if you're really truly watching and taking notes. Like, timing was hard for me. Like, I just had a birthday. So my birthday was on Wednesday. I'm filming this on Friday. This will go up on Sunday. So y'all, my light just went out, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not tripping. Hopefully that doesn't distract you guys from the point. Like, that's another thing. Side note, this is how easily I get distracted. Things are not going to be perfect. Like, just because we come to God, I don't know where this idea that things are going to be perfect is. God makes us perfect, and he's crafting us to be more like him and things of that sort. But the journey is not quote unquote perfect. It's perfect because God makes it perfect. But like, if you're expecting everything to go right and everything to flow so smoothly in your life, like, it takes time to get there. But anyways, back to timing. Like, I just had a birthday, so I turned older, and I'm still not married. I still have no kids, which for me, these are goals, which is why I'm saying them specifically, as they would pertain and relate to me, because it could be different for you guys. Maybe you haven't walked into a career yet and you're getting older. You know, there's just so many different levels of why timing might be relatable, maybe for different reasons though. You know what I'm saying? And even in my career, I have things happening, but I'm still not walking completely and totally in my calling yet. And I really had to trust and know that God's timing is perfect. Like, there may be things that God is still working in me, and there may not be things that pertain to me at all, in which why things have not happened yet. Like, it could pertain, like, as far as my husband goes, like, maybe he's still working on my husband. And maybe there's some things that my husband's going through, but maybe it is me. Maybe there's some things he's trying to work through me as well and help me grow and mature in as well. And it's just simply knowing that God's timing is best, and we shouldn't try to rush things. Like, even when it comes to my calling, like, no, I may not be where I want to be, but I will say I'm grateful because I do see things starting to happen for me. For example, I recently had the opportunity to get 2 PR packages coming my way, and they have not came yet. One is on the way, one's been shipped. And then the other brand that messaged me, they told me they would ship it within 2 weeks. So I think another week or so, because they're backed up on shipments. But, you know, I'm grateful because, like, I said this as, you know, my last video, if you watched it, that's not common for a small content creator like myself to have brands reaching out, which is why it's just dope to walk with God, because he just makes, like, impossible possible. And, you know, even though I'm not where I want to be in his timing, like, he just lets me know that in little ways I'm on the right path and he's got a plan for me. And I really love that. And one thing I could also say about me not walking in my calling yet is it's been beautiful, because I know people that have walked in their calling that are still, like, really growing. Like, I'm always going to be growing, but they're really growing and coming into terms of what it is to be a leader as a Christian. And they're doing that on the forefront of everybody watching, which is good for me because I kind of get to take a back seat and continue to prepare in private while learning and growing. And that is the grace that God's given me for my particular walk, and I'm not going to complain about it for that reason, because it's like, no, I'm not perfect. And when I come to the forefront, you could look back at all these videos and realize how I am and have been really growing and maturing in my walk. So yeah, timing is everything. And when you continue to grow and be molded into the person God's called you to be, you'll be like, thank you, Lord, that things didn't happen in the timing that I wanted to, because you'll see how you lack wisdom or maturity and you needed to grow. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we're always going to be doing those things. Also, it's nice to be able to surrender distractions to God in my life. Now, this is something I'm currently still very much so working on. And I'm glad this light kind of went out, because that is literally a distraction that tried to come to distract not only y'all but myself. As you can see, I get distracted easily in my talks, but just even outside noise like social media, men, for guys and maybe women, or whatever the case is, it's like we gotta really surrender distractions in our life, because we have to be having our eyes set on God so that we can heed to his instruction, what he's saying, and where he wants us to go in his direction for our lives. And we can't do that distracted. And going back to surrendering my life to Christ, like a lot of those things such as drinking and going out and things of that sort, they were distractions in my life, and things that I quite frankly had to really surrender to God so that I could really be focused on him. But again, in that, I just want to reiterate that he was able to reveal things to me and show me things because I was ready for those things. And it was in that he was able to call me higher, and higher in how he sees me versus anything else, which I just so appreciate. So I used the NYX white eyeliner, just went over in my crease color for underneath the eye, and then I did the Maybelline Sky High mascara. Again, I will link everything. Then I'm gonna go in with these lashes. These are newer that I'm trying. This is Blushing from Lily Lashes. So I'm gonna put those on really quickly, but I just wanna let you guys know what I'm doing for the eyes. Lashes are on, this is what it's given. But I'm about to line my lips, so I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario lip liner in the color Spice Chai. It's not super heavy. I really like these lashes too, because like they're kind of lighter in style. Like they're not a super heavy set of lashes. This corner keeps lifting a little bit, but it's fine. I'm actually honestly going to be washing my hair after this, so the makeup's probably going to fully go anyway. I just wanted to really do a sit down chit chat, get ready with me for you guys, so that's why I did my makeup. And I'm going to line these lips. So that brings like a little bit of more life to my lips and then to my face, which I love. And then I'm gonna take this lip oil from Merit and just add a little bit of color back. So this is what the final look is looking like. I know my hair looks lifeless and crazy, but I am about to wash it, and I actually will be straightening it all over again. But I hope that this video blessed you guys. Like, you will give up a lot, but you will gain so much more. And I gained so much peace in my life, so much clarity. Like, if you're wondering about like what your purpose is here, why are you here, why certain things are happening in your life, like God can make it. Y'all know I was talking and saying something good, but one of my friends sent me this. Like, how freaking, oh my gosh, like I'm shocked. And it happened while I was filming. Like, how crazy is that? I had the best friends, literally. But what was I saying? So sorry, let me just get back. So yes, God can make everything perfect in his timing. He's a restorer of time. Like, don't think that just because things seem to be taking longer in your life that God can't make things happen quickly and instantly and suddenly, but just trust his timing for your life. So give up all the things that you want and know that God will have something better. Like that person that you have, the perfect person, he knows what you need and he will give that to you. That calling, this is so much better than what I imagined for my life. Like me walking into what God has for me, that distractions that I've given up and everything else, like just picking up what he has for me has really changed my life for the better. Like I said, more peace, I gained more clarity. I'm so joyful and I'm just so appreciative. I'm so much more like calm and I don't stress about anything. I don't worry about anything because I know that God has it. Like, I even surrender my worries and my doubts and my anxieties unto him because he cares. And that's 1 Peter 5 verse 7. And that's one of my favorite verses. But yes, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you, and I'll see you guys next time.